Lima Zero Yankee Lima Mike Lighthouse calling at Lisbon. So much, Max, for the cutest. So it was very nice to hear you. Max 73 and stay healthy. Take care, Max. Bye bye.
It's just having fun, getting people on the band chatting. My world of amateur radio. Just sitting there listening on a frequency, listening to people calling in from all over the place. And amateur radio really is a fantastic hobby.
Okay, Stuart. Well, I've just took a little bit of video.
This is Germany 5, Sierra Tango United in company calling DX, over. G5S here with 2E1 Hotel Juliet Whiskey. Thanks for coming back to the call, Victor. Germany 5, Sugar Tango Uniform Shirt 59.
Thank you very much. Yes, ready to break every call we offered today. The last time I think you were mobile. So always great to have you in the logs queue.
Flick over to me. So hello to everybody watching on the live stream. We've just gone live. Just chatting to Peter here, M0 VFX, and we're talking about reflected power. So Peter, what unit have you got on your homemade transformer there? Then go ahead.
So yeah, I made a 49 to 1. And then obviously I've got a 1-to-1 as well, so there's no dirt coming back into the shack here. But basically, I've built a couple of these over the years, but it's a 49 to 1 going into a long wire, and it's kind of wiggling its way around, as I said, the space around the back of my apartment here in central London. And somehow I always got away with 100 whiskies. I'm a bit wary of putting any more than that out, because I'm surrounded by apartments and shops and everything else here, being so central. So, better the devil you know than the devil you don't. Roger?
Yeah, Roger. No, exactly. I mean, there's another argument, isn't there, with NFEDs? There's always this myth, or not necessarily a myth, that they're very noisy. I did find that, actually. I put an NFED up in my attic, which is probably the worst place you can put an NFED or any unbalanced antenna, and it certainly was very noisy. But then I put an NFED up here at this new QTH out in the sticks, where there's no noise, and it did very well, But to be fair, there wasn't any noise for it to pick up, I guess. So that's probably the difference. I wonder, what's your thoughts, Peter, on NFEDs being noisy? Over.
Yeah, so the reality here is living in a very urban space. That the issue is with the DSL, still from British Telecom, it causes so much effing noise. Also, just the LED stuff and all the cheap Chinese junk that people use. I've got shops near here and everything else, and obviously flats, and it's the lighting rigs in people's houses. They're the problem. The antenna itself is actually very clean. It's much better than running a vertical here. I've run verticals from here very high up, and I seem to pick up a hell of a lot more noise. But so for me, like the 80 meters and top band here are just full of garbage most of the time, and even 60 meters here is absolutely poisoned with noise. So I don't know if that, and again, the vertical on 60 is better than it's a coil-based vertical I've got for that. So it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. You can't win. However, 40 and 20, 18 and 10 and all that, or 10 meters are all very clean. So it's kind of, I'll take what I can get. Roger?
Yeah, no, absolutely, isn't it? It's the same here, actually. I've got a TV it's a bungalow here. There's a TV in the bedroom in the next room, and even if that's on standby, if I forget to turn it off, excuse me, I get about an S3 of noise on the radio, and I don't always notice because S3 isn't a lot, is it? And I only really notice when I start working some very low power weak stations, and I'm thinking, I should be able to hear them clearly, and I've left the TV on, and so that's 40 meters. On 80 meters, I've got a similar thing going on. There's some downlights, sort of LED downlights in the kitchen, and if I forget to turn those off and I go on 80, I've got about an S5 of noise, So obviously it's great. I've got control control of these QRM generators, but obviously I used to live in the middle of Poole, and you're surrounded by other people with these devices that you don't have control of, and that's where the problems start, Peter, isn't it? So well, if you've got a few bands that are quiet, then fantastic. And interestingly, actually, when I was down at Poole Quay, I was on the top floor flat at Poole Quay, and about 4 stories high, and I put an aerial up on the roof. I put a Sigma HF 360 vertical, and I put it very high up on the roof. And interestingly, once you got that above the roof height, it was very quiet. It was actually my best receive antenna at that QTH. So it just goes to show, the noise is coming out of the houses, isn't it? And if you can get your antenna up above it, certainly a vertical with the horizontal sort of polarization, it doesn't pick it up so much in my experience. And I had a similar thing actually with a ham stick dipole horizontal. I put that up on a big pole above the roof, and that was fantastic for inter-G on 40 meters. So you just have to try, don't you? Experiment, and you'll stumble across something that works at your QTH, Peter. Okay, I'll put it around for you for any final comments. Thanks for coming back to the call, and your homemade NFED doing a grand job down to Weymouth, Peter. So thank you for answering my call. Let's see. I'll see if there's anybody else about here on 40 meters that's not contesting that would like to have a quick chat here today, Peter. M0VFX G5STU.
Thank you. G5STU from M0VFX. Thanks, Stu. Yeah, listen, dude, keep it up on YouTube. You're quite entertaining. And listen, you're about to get a pile up, because there's going to be lots of people like you and me who don't really do the contesting stuff. So listen, thank you for that. Can I ask you one thing before I go? How is the modulation quality? Because again, this is one of the old microphones I've got, and I just want to make sure it still works. Over to you.
Okay, well, I just opened it up to 3K receive and turned off the noise reduction. It sounds beautiful. It's absolutely a fantastic modulation. What bandwidth are you DXing at, and what's the microphone, Peter? Over.
Well, I should be only 2.5, I think, or 2.4, and it's something I got in a job lot. I've sort of converted it. It's a newer Yaesu microphone, so I'm running an old, like I said, I'm running a FT101ZD, which is a valve radio, but the microphone is a newfangled, it's an MD100, which is a much more thing, but I quite liked the sound quality of it, so I did a little bit of phantom wiring and a lot of soldering, and eventually got it to work and figured out what the wiring was a couple of years back. But great, good. Well, I'll keep this configuration. And look, I'm going to wish you 73s right now and let you get on with what will be a pile up. Great to speak to you, Stu, and I'm sure we'll talk again. 73s, mate.
Yeah, lovely. Well, I'm not sure if it'll be a pile up. I think a lot of people don't even go in the shack, do they, on a contest weekend? So you never know. Or they might all be off shouting CQ contests like a madman. Before I came on this frequency, I was listening to another chap who was on the band calling CQ contests, and he must have said it 100 times before somebody come back to him. And I'm thinking, no, that's not for me, Peter. All the best. Thank you for coming back. 7-3.
As long as he's not shouting "Ola." Okay, 7-3.
All the best, thank you. Okay, anybody else that's not contesting would like to have a chat? Golf 5, Sierra, Tango United, listening.
Mike 7, Tango Romeo Sierra. Sure.
Okay, a few in there. M7 TRS, that's Lee. How you doing today, Lee?
Yeah, not too bad, Stu. I just saw you doing a live stream as I was in the contest, so I thought I'd have a break and come down and say hi to you.
Roger, so you've been shouting CQ contest like a madman then, Lee. How many points are you on so far?
Oh, I've got a whopping 25 contacts with my outstanding 5 watts.
Oh, fantastic. Well done. It can be good fun, I get it. I'm not knocking anybody that's involved in the contest. It's all activity, and if it gets people on the radio, then that's fine by me. It's just not for me this weekend. I've got other priorities this weekend. So, I'm sure there's plenty of people having a great laugh. And I wonder how many are wearing nappies. That's the old joke, isn't it? People wearing nappies, especially in the really serious contests. They just cannot leave the radio for a second. Lee, is that you, over?
Yeah, no, it's not me. I've not got a nappy on. I'm just sat hovering over a bucket, Stu.
Oh well, mate. Well, thanks for coming in and saying hello on the live stream here, and good luck in the contest, Lee. M7 TRS G5 STU, and you're about 5 and 5 here today, Lee. Over.
Yeah, thanks for the 5-5. You're a 5-9 plus 10, maybe 20. And yeah, thanks very much. I'm only having a blast. I'm not serious about it as I've been out shopping and come back. But yeah, I'll keep having a blast and see where my 5 watts gets me. And I'll catch you further again down the road too. Have a good day and happy Easter. 7-3.
Yeah, lovely, mate. It's all good fun, isn't it? M7 TRS G5 STU. All the best, Lee, and happy Easter. Anybody else? Golf 5 Sierra Tango uniform listening?
Germany 7 Bravo X-ray United.
G7BXU. Stephen, booming. How you doing?
Well, no, not too bad, not too bad. Had a busy day shopping and the like, and so yeah, quite busy. Just got in for play a bit of radio, and I see you on YouTube. I'm normally on there looking at videos of all these different people. And I see one appear saying that he was going to come live about 3 o'clock. I was in a previous QSO, so I just finished that and come down. I've had one contact in the contest, but I might have a go a bit later and see if I can work some of the other some more countries rather than the UK stuff. Sometimes it's a good opportunity of getting something in the log which you might not necessarily work under normal circumstances. I always find that during CQY World has always been a good place to get new countries in the past where you've not managed to work them under the normal days of the week, let's say, because they're there specifically to get points off you. So they do try their hardest to pull you out, and you normally get a report. I know it's only 5-9, but they all count this way, the way I look at it. So yeah, lovely signal. You're 20 over into a fine plus 12 degrees and sunshine here today in Reading, QSL.
Yeah, I think you need to turn your Vox off. Yeah, Stephen, booming in here, 5.9 plus about 10 dB. So yeah, no, that's it, isn't it? That's it. If you're looking to increase your DXCC count or whatever it is, then it's a good opportunity to do it, isn't it? I don't really track all that sort of stuff. I think I guess I'm a bit of a abnormal, you know. I don't really obsess too much over DXCCs and collecting things. I think what it is, Stephen, ever since I came into the hobby, I've been so busy developing Station Master that I've just not really had time to focus on all these little things, you know, within the hobby. So one day, maybe one day I'll finish doing the coding and I'll just get, hyper involved in all of this sort of stuff and start trying to work all states and work all Europe and all these other things I've never had time to do, Stephen, ever.
Yeah, QSL, well, I don't know. HRD did that, how long have they been going? I know the guy who actually obviously developed the Swiss guy, the Swedish, from the guy from Switzerland, obviously is Silent Key, but, they're still developing that, and that's got to be in excess of 20-odd years old. They're still fixing bugs and adding things and improving it some 20-odd years on, so... So maybe you might not get to do the DXCC and country list. You might have that facility by the time to us users. But whether you'll get to facilitate it yourself is maybe another story. If you get too wrapped up in developing the program, you might find that. Have a good Easter, and we'll catch you further down the log. G7BXU.
G7BXU, G5STU, and yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Software's never finished, isn't it? It's you think it's finished, and then something else pops up, some new sort of activation or whatever it is, some new gizmo comes out, new radio, and you have to update everything all again. So, okay then, Stephen, and we got somebody playing Silly Buggers by the sounds of it, so I'm just going to Texas. Yeah, not a problem. Okay, Gary, what antenna and power are you running over?
I'm running a long wire, so yeah, I say long wire, it's a 10-metre long wire with 49-to-1 unon on it. And it's only about 12 feet off the ground, and although the radio's turned up to full on the peak. All the best.
All the best, thank you. QRZ, Golf 5, Sierra Tango uniform.
George 3, Victor Charlie George.
Okay, Golf 3, Victor Charlie George. Don, sounding great today. I'll check the meter in a moment. How are you?
Yeah, not so bad, Stu. Just listening to all this racket on here. Some people do find a way of enjoying themselves, I suppose. What do you think of all these kilowatts on here then, Stu? Over?
G3 VCG G5STU. It's a funny debate, isn't it? It's a funny debate because on one hand you've got the argument that you have to quadruple your power to register 1 S point in change. So in theory, turning up the power, you can't even notice it on the needle a lot of the time. And then on the other hand, you've got the people saying, well, actually, if you're running a kilowatt, you're causing lots of QRM. So I don't quite know how you qualify the two sides of the argument, Don, over.
Yeah, Roger, Stu, you're 10 over 9 with me into Chelmsford. I spoke to one guy calling the CQ contest this morning, and I said, you're overdriving, because he was the whole way up the band each side. And he says, no, I'm not. I said, yes, you are. You're overdriving. He said, well, it's a contest. Everybody's overdriving. What do you think of that?
That's crazy, isn't it? I mean, the thing is, you don't need to be running power to overdrive, do you? I mean, one of the worst signals I ever saw on the waterfall or heard was actually a guy on a G90 running 20 watts, and he was a genuine 20 watts, and his mic gain was just too high, and he was splattering, crazy splattering, and as soon as he turned it down, it was fine, you know. So it's not necessary. I know running an amplifier, I guess you're more likely to get into the issue of overdriving, but it doesn't have to be power related, Don, does it, over?
No, you're absolutely right, Stu. Easy to do it by mistake. Excuse me. Yeah, all good stuff, and you're a lovely signal with me. I've been up on 12 metres a little bit today, and a few good contacts up there, so band conditions were quite good. Still running the Lazy H here, and about 150, Stu, over.
Yeah, Roger. Well, actually, Don, I wanted to talk to you about this Lazy H. I heard you briefly talking about it to somebody else, and I was going to ask you about it, actually. So the Lazy H, that's, I think, is it ladder line fed, and then it splits off to two equal distance to two separate dipoles? Is it effectively a doublet with two? Can you explain it, Don, over?
Yeah, okay, no problem. From G3VCG. It's like a letter H turned over on its side, so you've got one long horizontal above another long horizontal. When I say long, they're only 44 feet. In length. You've got a phasing line of open wire feeder between the two, and the main open wire feeder connects into the centre of that phasing line. If you connect it to the bottom, you will make a monoband antenna, and you will need to put a twist in the phasing line, 180, otherwise all the elements will be out of phase. And on this antenna, it's theoretically about 14 dBi of gain on 10, which is what it's designed for, and it works well down to 40. But the actual, if you like, not technicalities of it, but it's a double extended ZEP over a double extended ZEP. The extended ZEPs are designed for 10 metres, which makes them 44 feet in total length each, over.
Roger, okay. Well, it sounds very interesting. I'm wondering, I'm looking at your QRZ, and your profile picture there's an antenna that's your profile picture. So is that what we're talking about, or is that something different, Don, over?
No, that's the HF slot. The HF slot antenna, again, works very well from 10 metres up to 6 metres, I suppose, but not very good on 40. It's just too small. But this one works well on 40 as well. Well, you're hearing it now, and I worked into the Solomon Islands earlier on 12 metres with it. So, it's just a quick tune up on the matching unit, and no balance, nothing else except the matching unit, Stu, over.
Yeah, Roger. I think you might have just tapped the VFO very slightly there, Don, at the end of the QSO, but heard everything, no worries. And okay, it's interesting, isn't it? There's always like we talk about antennas all the time, and the majority of people are all running the same thing, aren't they? They're all running an end-fed or a dipole or a vertical or something, and then somebody comes along like yourself that's doing something completely different, Don, and it's very interesting. And for anybody that likes building and playing around with antennas, it's good to see. I'm running a Whiskey 5 Golf India here at the moment, which is a sort of a collinear, coaxial sort of dipole affair, isn't it? I think it's sort of designed for 20 meters, really. So give it 4 major lobes, I think it is on 20 meters, but it's about 100 foot in length. So I guess it probably performs similarly to like a ZS6 BKW or something like that on this band. I'm not overly sure, but it seems to work very well, Don. So yeah, I'd like to do something a little bit different, you know. When somebody says what antenna you're running, it's nice to be able to say something a bit a bit exotic, Don. Over.
Yeah, I did just click the mouse wheel. That's why I moved. So I should be locked back on now. Yeah, it's very interesting, isn't it? Antennas, you hear a lot of people talking about antennas. It's a black art and all this sort of stuff. But it isn't. It's all very logical. And the NFED was very frowned on some years ago. Although I used to use a bobtail antenna, which was fed at the bottom of the centre vertical, again high impedance feed. But in those days we used to use a parallel tune circuit. There were no such things as toroids and things like that. But the parallel tune circuit has gone out of favour, and everybody's using these toroids with what they call an unun. So it does the job. I mean, they get out. The only problem, as I see it, with those NFEDs is that on the higher frequencies, there's so many multiple lobes. By the time you get up to 10 metres, you don't know where it's going, and the power is divided into many lobes, whereas the double extended ZEP will stay into 2 major lobes from its design frequency down to 4 times. So it'll work on the 4-to-1 ratio. So in other words, if it's designed for 10, it'll work down to 7. And the lobes don't break up anywhere. They stay as they should be, and you know where they're going. Anyway, I'm starting to waffle now. Don't get me started, Stu. Over.
G3, Victor Charlie George, G5 SG. No, that's fine. It's all interesting stuff, isn't it? And yeah, there's a good animation online actually of the NFEDs, and it sort of shows you the lobe patterns you get as you increase the frequency. And like you say, you just get more and more lobes, don't you? And you get up to 10, and it's just crazy numbers of lobes. And it's sort of hit and miss as to whether the chap you're trying to talk to or lady is on the peak or the trough. You know, it's you might have a fantastic bit of gain in one particular direction, and nothing in another, and it's all very much hit and miss, isn't it? But hey ho, it's a convenient antenna, isn't it? And it's a compromise at the end of the day, as with most things in this hobby, Don. So I guess it's a case of if you only ever operate on one frequency, a spot frequency, you can optimize for that. But obviously we want to be all over the place, don't we, Don? So we have to compromise somewhere. Okay, Don, great to talk to you today, and hope you and the parrot are all well, and always lovely to talk to you, Don. So I'll put it around for you for the final, and we'll see if anybody else wants to say hello here today. G3 VCG, G5 SG, and you're a lovely 5 and 9, Don, by the way, over.
Yeah, Roger, Stu, fine business. Well, the old parrot sitting here listening to you, he's got his head cocked over sideways, so I hope he's not going to fly at the speaker. But anyway, okay, nice to talk to you, Stu. Very interesting subject, and we'll do it again. Thanks for letting me in. G5FTU, G3 VCG in Chelmsford. Cheerio, Stu. Bye-bye.
Yeah, lovely. My mate growing up, actually, when I was a teenager, a mate of mine, they had a parrot at their house. We used to go around, and I'd walk in the front door, and I'd see the parrot was out of the cage, and it used to scare the hell out of me, Don. I wonder, is yours very aggressive, over?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. If he takes a fancy to the microphone, which is a little handheld mic I'm using, he flies at the mic, but I think I've told you before, he doesn't get the mic, he gets my ear, and it can be quite a shock, over.
Oh, well, it keeps you on your toes, Don. Lovely to talk to you. 7-3, thank you.
Yeah, cheerio, Stu. Bye.
All the best. Anybody else? This is Golf 5 Sierra Tango uniform listening.
Mike 0 November Mike India.
0 November Mike India. Booming, David. I'd say you're 5 and 9, but I'll check the meter. Sounding fabulous, over.
Roger, Stu. Thank you very much indeed for that. Yeah, you're about 5-9 plus 15 to 20 here. Absolutely cracking signal. I'm same setup as before, but interesting. You're talking about compromised antennas. Yeah, I'm using a ZS6 BKW here, which is on the farm here, just northwest of Swindon in Wiltshire. So that's what I'm using. You're absolutely right on that, but it's as you so rightly say, it is a compromise, and it seems to work for me. Anyway, lovely to hear you again, and I wonder how things are up with you. Golf 5 at Sierra Tango uniform. This is Mike 0 November Mike India. Over.
Yeah, lovely, David. You're 5-9, by the way, cracking in here. And yeah, I mean, I've not actually tried a ZS6. I've tried what have I tried? I've tried I've got a W5 GI here at the moment, which is a similar sort of affair, isn't it? And I've tried a shortened, I've forgotten what they're called, G5RV, a shortened one. I tried one of those about a week or two ago, and I just could not get on with it. I think you have to get them up at the correct height in order to be able to get them to tune on the various bands where they're supposed to be resonant. And if you can't get them up that high, it just throws it out of whack. You know, you might tune it on 40, but it'll throw 20 out or whatever. So I soon ripped that one down, David, and put this one back up. I only really use this for transmitting on the lower bands. It will give me 80 and 40. I could probably transmit on 20 as well with it, but I don't. As soon as I go to the higher bands, I transmit on the vertical, on the the DXC, and then I use this as just a second antenna for receive only, because the verticals can pick up a little bit of noise. So it's always good to have a second pair of ears on the other VFO, David. So is that your only antenna there, or have you got anything else plugged in? M0NMI G5STU.
Golf 5 Sierra Tango uniform, Mike 0 November Mike India returning. Well, it is at the moment, Stu. It is at the moment, but I've had to move my shack because of the weather. We've got horses where my aerials used to be. I had a cobweb up and a big fan dipole, but I had to take that down because fundamentally it's just a mud bath. That's been known for 6 months, so I had to take it down. But the plan is I'm going to probably put a vertical on the same pole as I've got the ZS. So I just use the ZS6 BKW for lower bands, 60, 40, and 80, and then on Alan's DX Commander, but it's going to be a vertical with raised radials. I'm going to have the feed point up at about 10 meters if I can get it up that high, and put a 10-meter telescopic fishing pole on the top of the thing I've got now, which is already up at about 12 meters. So that's what I'm going to attempt. Whether it will work or not, whether I should actually be able to lift it up or not, I'm not sure. If I can get it up there, then it will work really well, I'm sure. But it'll be a tuned vertical, sort of like an inverted V, but on its side, if you know what I mean. So you'll have a quarter wave element sticking straight up, and a quarter wave element on each band coming down at 45 degrees. And that'll basically act like a sort of guy as well as the radial. But that's what I'm going to try. I started working on this last autumn, but the weather got so bad I just couldn't get it. But working on 20 meters, just as a monobander, and it worked incredibly well. I was very, very pleased with that. But I haven't tried it with multiple elements. So that's the crux of it. If that works, then it's going to be great. G5STU M0 NMI.
M0 NMI G5STU. Yeah, well, the raised vertical and radial system. Yeah, it's something I've never tried. There's a chap down in Alicante, an expat down there, who's doing a similar thing, and he raves about it, you know. And I know Rowley. We know Callum DX Commander. He's his friend Rowley down in ZL Land. He came up with a fancy wiring system for phasing 2 verticals, or possibly even 3, I think it is, and but multi-band, you know, ground-mounted, and it introduces delay lines and stuff. And I've forgotten exactly how it works, but quite a complicated affair. But lots of what are they called? I've forgotten what they're called. Switches, basically. Switches, you know, remote control. And he was actually talking to Duncan, MM5, I've forgotten his name, Alpha Juliet November, Duncan. He was talking to him on his live stream. And Rowley was demonstrating switching his phasing system towards the UK as opposed to away from it. And it was a marked difference. It really was an amazing difference. It was a great demonstration of how that does work if you can get it right. But Rowley was, you know, he's an RF engineer, a professional RF engineer, so he knows his onions. David, over.
M0 NMI returning. Yeah, I watched some of the Callum's YouTube videos. I've seen Rowley on Callum's live streams, and he's quite a knowledgeable guy, I must say. Yeah, I've toyed with the idea of putting phased verticals up, but I got it to sort of work. But I discovered that the phasing harness I was using, I thought I was using RG58 for the phasing harness. I wasn't. I was using RG59, so it didn't work very well. So that was a bit of a flop. But I think if I was going to do that, I'd probably do a triangle, something like that, and then I can sort of switch it in 3 directions, or I don't know, 6 directions it would be, of course. So you'd be able to do forwards and backwards on 2, forwards and backwards on the other 2, and forwards and backwards on the other 2. So you'd have you'd get most of it, but I haven't even thought about how you do the phasing for that at all. I'd have to do quite a lot of experiments, and I'd need a bit of help probably to get all the poles up and down. But I find aerials the most fascinating side of the hobby, to be quite honest. But until when I was first licensed, I bought one of those things that you just tried, the half-size G5RV. It was like using a piece of wet string. It was ridiculous. Of course, I was an M6 and I was only using 10 watts, and I wondered why I couldn't get any decent signal reports. And then I got to Western HF10, and that was a heck of a lot better. I could get out. I got some reasonably decent reports, and I started to actually work across the pond on my measly 10 watts. And that when I did that, the first time I got an American come back to me, that was something. I really got a buzz out of that. But that was quite a long time ago. Now. But but aerials is my thing. That's what I do. But I need good weather for it. I'm a fair weather everything now. I'm a fair weather dinghy sailor and a fair weather aerial constructor. So I need it to be warm and sunny to get out and do these things, Stu. G5STU M0 NMI over.
M0 NMI G5STU, and it's crazy, isn't it? When I first came into the hobby, I didn't know one end of a dipole from the other, you know, and I was scared to make my own antenna. So I completely understand it. You know, when somebody just gets their ticket and they're looking to create an antenna, and it's like, I'll just buy one, and I completely understand, because the thought process is it's right. Okay, I can build one, but I don't know really if I've done it correctly. So therefore, that would then be my benchmark of an antenna of whether of anything else I then use. And if I've cocked it up, I'm starting at a bad point. So if you just buy one off the shelf and put that up, you know, assuming it's tuned, of course, then at least you know you're working with a known good baseline, David, and then you can go from there. But then, of course, once you've been doing it a few years, you soon come to realise it doesn't matter whether you buy whatever you buy off the shelf. As soon as you put it up at your QTH, it could be completely out of whack. It's no different than building your own, really. So you just as well build your own and save a bit of money, I guess. If you're just making a bog standard dipole or something. So yeah, I mean, I'm fairly lazy as well, to be fair. I've bought lots of antennas off the shelf simply because I just couldn't be bothered to make them. This Whiskey 5 Golf India is quite a complicated antenna to build. It's not just a few bits of wire thrown together. It's very particular measurements and stripping bits of coax back and all this sort of stuff. And I thought, you know what, I've got better things to do with my time, David, than messing about with that. So I did buy it, but there we go. And yeah, where you talk about first contact across the pond, one of my most memorable contacts was actually when I was parked up mobile next to the sea on I think it was just an Ampro. I think I was on 20 metres, and a chap came back from the States who was also mobile, and I think he was moving mobile, and he was also on an Ampro or something, and we were having a chat there on 20 metres. So not only was I working the States, which was a treat, I was working a mobile station, David, and as a fairly new operator, that was amazing. Over.
M0 NMI returning. Yeah, congratulations to you. Yeah, that's a good one. I must admit, my first Japanese station I got when I was operating mobile, which was quite a surprise. But I was an M0 at the time, so I was running 100 watts. But even so, it was into a mobile whip, so it wasn't exactly a huge aerial. But that was on, I think that was on 15 meters. I think that was 15 meters into Japan. So, but it was the reason I got him was purely because of the operator at the other end. He was a really good operator, and he was calling numbers. So as soon as he said zero, I just popped in my M0 call sign, and he came straight back to me, which I was really chuffed. Haven't worked many Japanese stations, but of course, what you were talking about earlier, the lobes and nulls on the higher bands, I did used to have a very, very large loop. It was a big full wave top band loop, which was a very, very good aerial, and it tuned up incredibly well on all bands, and it tuned up, and it was very, very quiet. But of course, it had all these lobes and nulls everywhere. Which caused me to have a great big null towards Japan and New Zealand and Australia. So I didn't really get to work them very much. Wasn't until I put the cobweb up that I actually started to get reasonable contacts into the Pacific. So that was good. But but I did. The reason I built the ZS was because it works. It was a similar idea to the G5RV, but it actually is resonant on 5 bands without a tuner. I've actually used it on 40, 20, 17 and 12 quite well without any tuner whatsoever. But if you put a tuner with it, I can get 80, 60 and 15 as well. So that's what I do. And it works very well on 15 with a tuner. That's probably the best band I've got. It'll work on 20 without, but it's not very good on 20. It seems to have a lot more sort of lobes and nulls in it than it does on 15, which I can't really work out. I thought that all these things went as you went up in frequency, all your propagation patterns sort of went all over the shop. But anyway, it seems to work much better on 15 meters than I gave it credit for. But as I say, I'm going to be trying out some sort of vertical, but it'll probably just be a phase, not just an ordinary vertical. I won't be doing anything clever. But that might come in the future if I get a bit of time and sort of get a bit of inspiration. I might try something with phase verticals, probably monoband on 40 meters. So or maybe just 2. So just pointing pointing a couple of 40-meter masts out towards Japan or in that direction. So I could probably work New Zealand as well. But that's the idea anyway. Right, that's it from me for the moment, Stu. I'll pass it back to you if you want to carry on and get a few more, then be my guest. Golf 5 Sierra Tango uniform from Mike 0 November Mike India. Over.
Yeah, lovely, David. It's funny, isn't it? Because if you talk to Rowley down in ZL, the JAs, they're a dime a dozen. they're no problem at all for him. So it's talking to him. He always laughs when we say, "Oh, you know, working at JA." He goes, "I can give you 20 of them for a £5." You know. So it's funny, isn't it? It's all about the DX side of it, isn't it? It's chasing the hard contacts, I suppose. Okay, David, lovely to talk to you. And yeah, we'll see if there's anybody else wants to say hello here today that's not contesting. M0NMI G5STU. Lovely 5-9 throughout, David. All the best 7-3. Thank you.
732, and thank you very much for the chat. Nice to hear you again, and good luck with your station there. All the best, and catch you again. Bye bye.
Many thanks, David. Okay, anybody else? This is Golf 5 Sierra Tango Uniform listening.
2 Whiskey Zero, Papa Quebec Uniform.
2 Whiskey Zero. Go ahead.
Yeah, hi Stu, it's 2 Whiskey Zero, Papa Quebec Uniform.
It's Ethan, isn't it? 2 Whiskey Zero, Papa Quebec United, Ethan. And I think I saw you. Are you live streaming onto the YouTube, onto Station Master at the moment, Ethan? Over.
Indeed, yes. Sorry, I had your audio running through the digital filter thing again, and the radio killed it all, so I had to turn the radio back up. So I missed the first part of you over there. Stu, go ahead.
Yeah, not a problem. I think you're live streaming onto my Station Master system, aren't you, at the moment? I've got the live stream going here as well, but only onto YouTube. It's not going onto Station Master because the problem is it all works well, but it's the latency. It's quite slow, isn't it? It's about a 15-second delay. But when you stream straight to YouTube, it's kind of 3-second delay. So I'm just experimenting with that at the moment. So I'm probably going to update the Station Master streaming to work in a slightly different way. So I'll probably have it so it will actually display the YouTube stream directly on the website rather than having a separate feed. And I think that might be a bit of a better way of doing it. But I'll leave it so people can decide for themselves, you know. So if you want to stream directly to Station Master and you don't want to get involved in YouTube, you'll still be able to do that, but there'll be a second option to just embed the YouTube stream. But I've just not done that yet, Ethan. So I'll check the meter in a moment, but you sounded about 5 and 7. 2 Whiskey Zero, Papa Quebec Uniform, Golf 5 Sierra Tango Uniform. Over.
Yeah, 2W0 PQU returning. Yeah, fine business, yeah. I'm streaming directly to Station Master, and then it's being ported into YouTube then. So I am streaming to both. Yeah, I can understand. Just earlier, when I was using N1MM, my counter on my desktop was at say 53 seconds since last contact, and the stream was behind by about 50 seconds. So yeah, it is quite a lot. But I'm in the contest, so I've seen you on here, so I thought I'd come down and give a shout. So I'm taking a break for now. I've got over 100 and odd contacts, so time for a break, rest my voice. But yeah, you're 5-9 in the clear for me this afternoon. You're stronger than you were last time I spoke to you, definitely. You're peaking up to 5-9. You're peaking up to 10 over, sometimes 15 over as well. G5STU, TW0PQU.
Yeah, lovely, Ethan. Yeah, you're 5-9 plus a little bit as well, and I've just brought your live stream up on my screen here and said hello, and I can see Martin's also live streaming onto Station Master as well. So hello to Martin, and well, good luck to both of you in the contest. I assume you're both contesting. You've both got M1MM up and going with your scoreboard, so good luck, mate. I didn't fancy it this time round. I've dabbled in the past, but I've just had too much other stuff going on, Ethan, so I'm going to give it a miss this week, this time round. But okay, I'll put it back round for you for the final, and you get back and rack up those points, Ethan. 2W0 PQU G5STU.
Yeah, no worries, Stu. Yeah, I'm only really doing it because I've got my full license exam now next week, and I'm trying to participate in as many contests as possible so I can get a contest call then, just so, you know, it's a bit easier, so I can, instead of calling my full 2W0 PQU or whatever it ends up being, it can just be three digits, so that'll be a bit better. That's the main reason. It's just me being lazy. Okay, Stu, no worries, I'll let you...
Sorry, I dropped the microphone. I'll let you work some more. I'll speak to you again. G5STU, TW0PQU.
Oh, well, there you go. You've just highlighted another reason to get your full ticket, Ethan, haven't you? It's not all about power. There's lots of other reasons to do it as well. Obviously, setting up a club as well. You can do that once you've got a full ticket and all that sort of stuff. So, well, good luck with that, mate, when it comes around. I know it ain't easy, but I don't know. I would say the intermediate and the foundation aren't really that different. There's just more, not the foundation, sorry. I would say the intermediate and the full aren't that different in terms of competency. It's just a bit more of it, you know. You just have to learn more. It's not more complicated. There's just more there to learn, Ethan, over.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. I'm trying to get it out of the way now before they change the exam and everything again in is it June? Because of course, you know, all the new licensing conditions, etc. So I've been licensed for 5 years, and I thought I really can't be bothered going through another syllabus change. Let's get it done now.
Roger. Yeah, well, yeah, they keep on changing it, don't they? And just get it done as quickly as possible. That was my MO. I just went through all three of them within sort of 6 months, I think it was, and just got it all done, you know, and out of the way. And then you'd have to worry about forgetting it and having to relearn it and all that sort of stuff. So I know what it's like. It's very tempting. You get your ticket and you think, okay, that's it. I'm just going to enjoy the radio, enjoy the new license. And then you think, I'll come back and get the next level next year or whatever. But it never comes, you know. Tomorrow never comes, Ethan. And when it does come, you regret it because you've then got to learn everything all again. But anyway, each to their own. Everybody has their own life they have to work around as well, don't they? I'm fortunate or unfortunate in that respect that I don't really have any immediate family to get in the way of what I want to do. But there we go. Okay, Ethan, I'll let you go. 2W0PQU, G5STU, and yeah, good luck contesting 7-3.
Yeah, thanks, you. I'll catch you later. G5STU, TW0PQU, 7-3.
All the best, thank you. Anybody else? Golf 5, Sierra, Tango Uniform listening.
Quebec.
Let me just bring in Nick, 2E0, November Alpha Queen. I think it is. Nick, go ahead. Nick, 2E0, November Alpha Quebec, Golf 5, Sierra, Tango Uniform. How you doing, Nick?
Quebec 0, November Alpha Quebec, returning. No, sorry mate, that wasn't me. I think I must have a double. Back to you.
Yeah, Roger. You're not super strong today, Nick. You're about 5'4", 5 and 5 with a bit of noise coming across with you, but hearing you no problem at all, mate. I don't think you're in the contest, are you? But I'm happy to work you today here on the radio. Have you had a good weekend, Nick, over?
Yeah, not too bad, man. I've got a lot what I want to do, but can't get round to doing it, if you know what I mean. Back to you.
Yeah, Roger. No, it's not for everybody, is it? But good luck to those taking part. I didn't fancy it this time round, Nick. Okay, you're 55. What was my report, Nick, over?
Yeah, you're a normal 5'9", QSL.
Yeah, QSL, Nick. Fantastic. Okay then, mate. I know you've dropped me a couple of emails, haven't you? I'm not sure if I've replied to all of them, but I get so many emails, Nick. It's hard to reply, and I think, okay, I'll have to come back and do that later, and I don't always remember. But yeah, it's the new version of Station Master 2 that I'm using here now on the live stream. I'm hoping to get a version of it out this weekend, possibly by Monday, but there's no guarantees. I've got a lot to do. I was working on it all morning, and I've got Log of the World integration going. I've got POTA integration working. I'm trying to get UK Bunkers integration working. I've emailed Phil, I think it is the guy that runs that, or he certainly runs the website, so I'm trying to get that integrated as well. So yeah, lots to do, Nick, but it'll be worth the wait. So there we go. SUE0NAQ, G5STU. Thanks for the call, Nick, and 7-3, your final.
Yeah, thank you, mate. Yeah, I really enjoy your program. It's a great help. Take care.
All the best, mate. Thank you, Nick. You faded down there at the end. I think the band's switching around a bit. We're hearing a bit more Continentals in the background. Okay, anybody else who's got a strong signal? HI, G5STU listening.
Golf 7, Lima, Hotel Kilo.
Sierra X-ray.
Okay, there's a couple in there. We've got Sugar X-ray, and I think that's Ian. I'll put you on the to-do list. And we've got Troy, G7LHK. How you doing?
I'm good, mate. You? I'm not live streaming at the moment. I'm not watching you live stream. I didn't realise you were doing it, but it's a great signal from you. 5-9 plus 10 into something as usual. Just a quick question there, Stu. How do you actually live stream within Station Master, over?
G7LHK, G5STU. Well, what you'll need OBS or some streaming software, so you will need that. You set that up to capture your screen like however you normally would. I can't teach you that side of it. You'll just have to watch some YouTube tutorials on OBS to master that side of it. But once you've got OBS up and running, all you do is go into OBS and you go into the bit where you put your stream key, and you just select custom stream key, or RTMS I think it's called. And if you go into your Station Master Cloud account, into your My Settings, it will tell you what your stream key is. You just take that, put it into OBS and click Go Live, and you're off, Troy, over.
Oh, right, okay, that's interesting. I didn't know. I've just seen on Station Master there were a couple of people streaming or live streaming. One, I guess, is yourself. I haven't looked at the live streams, but that's interesting. I'll put that in. You never know. We might be live streaming alongside you there. Stu. But cracking signal as always, my friend, and we've made a few audio setting changes this afternoon, so I don't know whether that's made any difference, but I will have a look at the stream later on. I wasn't quite happy with the settings that we had last night. It sounded a little bit muffled, but there you go. Happy Easter to you, and we'll catch you further down. We have got Steve M0SSV on frequency as well, standing by, so I don't know whether you wish to call him there, but we'll catch you further down there, Stu, and listen to you next time round. G5STU, G7LHK.
G7LHK, G5STU, yeah, lovely. You're solid 5.9 plus a little bit as well, Troy. Audio sounding fine, not a problem. I've put M0FSB on me list here, so I'll pull him in the second after Ian. Yeah, okay, well, we look forward to seeing you streaming on Station Master. The idea is that you can stream straight into the Station Master system website, and then other hams obviously can see you and come in and say hello or call you or whatever. You don't have to be on YouTube or anything else. You can just go straight into the Station Master site. And the difference being is obviously everyone will see you. You know, everyone on Station Master will see you there. Whereas on YouTube, you know, if you're a new channel, you can stream for hours to your heart's content, but no one will ever see you. That's the problem. It takes quite a while, doesn't it, to build up a bit of a following. So yeah, getting on the Station Master system will get you out there a bit quicker, you know, and earn your stripes, as it were, because it can take a while to master the art of live streaming. I wouldn't say I'm an expert, but I've been doing it a few years now, so I think I've figured it out good enough to put on a half-decent show. Anyway, Troy. Okay, mate, 7-3, and all the best. Good weekend, over.
Yeah, many thanks there, Stu, and that's invaluable information there. So I'll have a look at OBS and see how we can work from there. All the best, mate. You have a great weekend, and I can see Steve is on our Zoom meeting at the moment, patiently waiting for you. You take care, mate, and we'll catch you over the week. G5STU, G7LHK, 7-3 for now.
Yeah, all the best, Troy. Thank you for the call. Let me just bring in Ian and then Steve. Ian, M1 GSX, Bilco. How you doing?
Yeah, good afternoon, Stu. Hope you're keeping well, mate. Yeah, lots waiting for Steve SSV there as well. Just thought I'd jump in. You're 20 over up here into Shrewsbury, mate, and hope you're keeping well. I've just come back from a bit of a weekend, a couple of days at Llangollen there with the missus for our anniversary. No expense spared, mate. Back to you.
Roger, I assume that's a Welsh town name, isn't it? I'm not even going to attempt to say that. too many L's and Z's and stuff, you know, HI. But yeah, not spoke to you for a while, mate. Last time I heard you'd got in with the audiophile gang, Ian. I think we've lost you now. Over.
I'm just gripping onto the top of the hole here, and I'm desperately trying to stop myself from slipping down, because once you go down there, mate, it's but luckily I've just stayed with the two bits of equipment, and all is well. It seems to be working okay, mate. But just a quick one, just before I let you have a word with Steve. There is Ethan. I don't know if he's still listening. He's a fellow bus driver from South Wales. He's a top lad. 2 Whiskey Zero PQU. All the best, Ethan, for your up and coming exam anyway. And I hope you get through it okay. All right, Stu. Nice to speak to you again, pal. And there is 1 or 2 calling you, so I won't hold it. G5STU M1 GSX. Back to you.
Yeah, lovely. Ethan's just corrected me in the live chat there. He's saying there's no Z's in the Welsh alphabet, so yeah, they just put an extra L in instead, HI. Oh, I'm only playing. Okay, Ian, mate, thanks for coming in, and we'll catch you next time. 73. Okay, let's, who was this? M0FSB? I don't think we've worked before. Is that the right call? Mike Zero Fox Sugar Bravo, Roger? Oh, you're very weak. Is it, you just could tell me the full call, over? Oh, you're right down. You're about, I don't know, 3, 4 and 1, something like that. Just say phonetically the call sign, over.
Hang on, mate. Let me change the antenna.
Yeah, no worries. You're right in the noise, and we've got some Continentals in the background that's making it a bit difficult as well. So I've got M0FSB, but it's not coming up on the lookup, so I'm wondering if that's right. Go ahead. M0FSB G5STU.
Yeah, M0SSB. It's me, Steve.
Oh, hang on. I've still not got the call. SSV. Oh, got you. I got it that time. I thought somebody said FSB, so there we go. M0 Sugar Victor. Stephen, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm fine, mate. I'm fine. Hope you're okay yourself. It's alright. Just I was on the other antenna. That's why. I was pointing in the opposite direction. I'm back on the Delta loop now.
Yeah, Roger. Now you've come up a little bit there, about 5 and 5, but we've got about 5 and 5 of Continental QRM creeping up in the background, Stephen, as well. So it is a bit of a struggle, mate. But we've got you. So you're on a Zoom meeting. Are you in the same club as Bilko then? Over.
Bilko? You mean Troy, you mean?
Yeah, that's what, yeah, I'm getting confused. Yeah, Troy, over.
Oh, Roger, yeah. I'm I'm actually the chairman of the club that we both belong to.
Ah, Roger, okay. I wonder, what club's that then, Steve, over?
Yeah, Midland Amateur Radio Society, mate.
Ah, Roger, okay. Yeah, okay, I'll look that up later. I've just brought up your QRZ page, actually, and you've got just as many screens as me. It's that's the trouble with this hobby, Stephen, isn't it? You I think you collect more screens than radios, over.
Oh, Roger, yeah. It's swapped about so many times this station there. So I've got like 1, 2, 3, 4 screens there. I've got me the 101. I've got me 9700. Oh, you got to have deep pockets, Stu.
No, exactly. I actually took down 2 of my screens on Friday, I think it was, and then I put them back up again because I just missed them too much, you know. Especially when you're live streaming, it's nice to have lots of screens because you can put OBS on one, you've got like YouTube on one, and then you've got your logbook on another, and then, well, the other one's not doing anything. But yeah, it's 2's not quite enough, and well, 2's too little, and 4's slightly too many. So but 3 just looks wrong, so I've gone back to 4. Anyway, Steve, thanks for coming in. 55, your report today, over.
Roger. You must have said the same, mate. As I say, there's a lot of noise about, so that's probably knocking it about a little bit. Yeah, but I know what you mean about the script, because I run your software, I run Log4OM, I run, Grid Tracker, JTDX, it's all the same.
Yeah, well, that's it, isn't it? There's so many things you have to run these days. Anyway, you're sounding fine, mate, and nice looking shack. All the best, 7-3, over.
Yeah, take care, mate. 73.
Okay, we'll put up a few more, and I think I'll pull the plug. I thought I'd get on here before the contest sort of swamped the bands a bit later on, but it's getting mid to late afternoon, isn't it? And it starts to become a bit of a struggle. So QRZ, Golf 5, Sierra Tango uniform.
Golf 0, Sugar, Victor Yankee.
That's Dave, Golf 0, Sugar, Victor Yankee. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, okay, Stu. I just wanted to get my audio on your live stream because I'm running a spare radio, the 991A, and it's running about 100 watts into a G5RV, which is clipped with cable ties to the guy wires on my mast, the guy ropes. So it's like a very steep inverted V, over.
Roger. Okay, well, you're 5'8", 5'9" peaking, and I just turned off the DNR there for your over, so when you listen back, you'll hear a clean signal coming through on the live feed, and it's doing fine. I'm running about 600 watts here on the Whiskey 5 Golf India, inverted V here, and you're about 5'8". What power are you running, Dave?
Yeah, well, it's 100 watts, so it's talking about 75, 80 watts, and it's the radio. The 991A is what I bought as a spare backup on HF, and I use it on 2 meters and 77s when I'm on with Tony, but I just thought I'd plug an HF wire into it, been messing about. It's been a lovely day here. We've had some terrible weather, so it was nice to get out in the garden, and the G5RV is running up, it's clipped about 4 inches away from the guy ropes on the mast, so it's just a temporary thing. It's nice for listening. You're 20 over, by the way, Stu. 20 over.
Roger. Yeah, okay. Well, it's working well, Dave. Not a problem at all. And thanks for the 20 over. We've got somebody else on the frequency in the background that's making it a bit difficult. So obviously propagation's changed, Dave. So okay then, mate. I was talking to Jim earlier. I don't know if he's been live streaming, but I think he's been getting involved in the contests. I think he's been quite busy on the higher bands, so I'm not sure if you've spoken to him today. You not contesting, Dave?
No, I've been on this morning. I was in early. I worked a few VKs, Hawaii, Alaska, just to give them some points, really. But I had a couple of rag-chews with Japan, and been on 17, I have. So I've had a couple of, long QSOs and a few contesters. Yeah, Jim, what band was Jim on, over?
Well, he was on 10 at one point. I know he was working some rare stations on 10 meters earlier on. He was sending me a couple of screenshots and stuff, but I think he's been diving around all over the place. I'm just looking on WhatsApp now to see what he sent me recently. I've got a few unread messages here, so he's been working a few. He says he's killing it on 10 meters, HI.
All right, okay. Oh, he's not actually sat on a frequency. I'd have gone and give him a call and give him some points, but he's doing what I do. I just look around on the contest weekend for some countries or call signs or whatever that are quite rare or I haven't worked. So it was nice to work Hawaii. I've worked them many times, but over the years, but not lately. So it was nice to catch them this morning, and Alaska as well. Almost the same VMed in on the short part, over.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, when there's contests on, it's easier to pick up some of these rare ones, isn't it? So, go round and cherry pick all the ones that you want, Dave. Okay then, mate, I'll say 7-3. I'll put out 1 or 2 more calls here, and then I'm going to pull the plug, because we've got, the skips obviously changed, and we've got other stations on frequency as well. So, looking at the waterfall, the whole band looks quite busy. The plan was to get on here before, the contest to swamp the band in the late evening, this sort of time, isn't it? Because they're all going to come down here, aren't they, as the higher bands close. So I thought I'd get in there early, Dave. All the best, mate, and 7-3, over.
Yeah, no worries, Stu. Yeah, well, I'll be on tomorrow. If I hear the lad on, old Jim, I'll give him a call for sure. You have a great Easter, Stu, and look forward to the next one. G5FTU, Golf Zero Sugar Victor Yankee, 73s, mate.
Yeah, lovely. I know he had a few problems. The YouTube live stream system was broken yesterday, and it wouldn't allow you to change the date or time of your stream. If you pre-scheduled your stream, it was fine. But if you were doing an instant live, you couldn't change the time. So he was a bit angry about that, but it's fixed now. Okay, Dave, all the best. Happy Easter, mate. Okay, one or two more, and I'm going to pull the plug. Golf 5, Sierra Tango uniform.
Golf 6, November Mike Alpha. Quebec Echo.
November Mike Alpha, and then I heard a Queen Echo as well in there. I put you on the list. Who's the NMA?
Yes, absolutely, Stuart. It's Golf 6 November, Mike Alpha. We spoke yesterday, and thank you for taking the call. I actually heard the audio on this live stream, and I thought it sounded a bit rough, so I adjusted it a bit, and hopefully it's a little bit better, Stuart. Go ahead.
Yeah, Roger. Okay, well, if you're going to listen back on the live, I've just turned off the DNR, so on your next over, you'll get a clear read of the audio, although the the Continental QRM's going to make it a bit difficult. But it's sounding pretty good, Paul, over.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you, Stu. It'll be interesting to see, actually, because I was trying to make it a bit more sort of punchy. That was the whole idea of it, and thanks for switching the DSR off, or DNR off, as the case may be, and I can have a look at it and see what it's doing. Thanks again, Stu, and is that the new station master you've got on screen at the moment?
Yeah, Roger, I am receiving 3K wide here at the moment as well, and that does tend to make people sound a little bit deeper than they might naturally be as well. But yeah, Station Master 2 I've got here on the live stream. I've been working on it all morning this morning, adding POTA integration and UK bunkers and Log of the World integration, all that sort of stuff. I'm going to do a little demo actually on the live stream. Once I get off air, I'm going to do a quick demo of a few of the new features on the live stream to anybody that's watching, so stick around if you want to see that. But yeah, it's well, I'm not going to give a date of when it's going to be available, Paul, because software development is very hard and you just never know, over.
Absolutely. I've been in that position myself, actually. But I've been using Station Master now probably for a week and a half, no, a bit more than that actually, Stuart, and I'm really impressed with it. I'm actually moving from QRZ, to be honest with you, so that'll be nice to keep this going. And I found it really useful this morning with regards to doing a bit of the contest. Didn't get too far, but very good indeed. Anyway, I'm not waffling on too much, Stuart, but thanks very much again, and thanks for the Station Master as well. G6 NMA.
G6 NMA, G5 STU, and the QRM's disappeared, hopefully permanently. You came through quite clear then, Paul. Well, thanks for the flowers on Station Master. Yeah, it's been a few years now in the mix, you know. I've been working on it ever since I was licensed, so it's sort of part and parcel of the hobby for me developing this. It's quite odd, actually, because I'm not a normal ham in just getting on the radio and enjoying the hobby. There's always the Station Master work in the background, you know. Every time I'm on the radio, it's sort of it's work as well, you know. But there we go. Okay then, Paul, thanks for jumping in, and yeah, well, enjoy the contesting if you're doing any more. 59 for you, over.
Brilliant, thank you very much indeed, and 35 for you according to Station Master's log. G6 anyway.
Okay, all the best, thank you. Who was the Quebec Echo?
Mike 0 Juliet Quebec Echo.
Mike 0 Juliet Quebec Echo. And was there anybody else there?
Yeah, Mike 0 Golf X-Ray Quebec.
Okay, stand by, MM0 Golf X-Ray Queen. I'll bring you in next. But for now, we've got Brian, I think it is, M0JQE. I think it's the first time in the log, Brian. And you sounded 5 and 9, over.
Yeah, it is the first time as I recall anyway, Stu. Yes, you're coming through at 20 dBs over. I'm just outside Loughborough in Leicestershire, over.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, you're just peaking 5 and 9 on my needle. We've got the FTDX 101 Delta here, and it's in IPO mode. Whiskey 5 Golf India is the antenna. Inverted V here out in the middle of the countryside with fields all around us. We're very fortunate in that regard, Brian. But yeah, 5 and 9 for you today. The name's Stu, Sierra Tango Uniform, over.
Yes, I've been listening to you quite a lot, Stu, and I don't really know what you're doing with the live streaming thing, but I understand the technology. It's just probably the software that I'm not au fait with. Here I'm running a Kenwood TS680 into an end-fed wire. It's not very long, it's just as long as my garden will allow me. But I'm putting out about 40 watts at the moment, over.
Yeah, all copy. TS680 and fed wire and 40 watts. It's doing a fabulous job. And well, the live streams, well, it's mainly just for fun, really. But I build software for ham radio in my spare time. It's one of these things that just came from nothing, Brian. When I got into the hobby, I didn't like M1MM and other offerings that were out there. And being a software developer, I decided I could build something for myself that I'd much prefer, which I've ended up doing. But I made it available for other people, friends of mine and stuff. And before you know it, these things just explode, Brian, and there's now thousands of users, over.
You're talking to a guy who did a little bit of programming way back in BASIC and Pascal, but my two boys, both of them are software engineers. I think they use C# now, over.
Roger, yeah. Well, I did a bit of Pascal back in the day. I'm 45, so we had BBC Micros and Acorn Archimedes at school, and they only switched them out to PCs on the year I left, So I was coding in Pascal, and I've forgotten what else, whatever else it was at the time, and BASIC probably. But yeah, these days I'm a C# programmer as well, but I did Station Master version 1 is actually built in C#, the desktop version. The website's built using PHP, JavaScript and MySQL, but this new version of Station Master that I'm using here on the live stream, this was actually built using a platform called Electron, which is all JavaScript based, so it's all web technologies. So I'm multilingual, Brian, over.
You see, you said Electron there, and that reminds me of the old BBC Electron. But you're 45, I'm 75, so I was actually teaching in college when I was doing BASIC and Pascal, over.
Roger. Yeah, I know the Electron. I've never had one, but they're similar to the BBC Micro, aren't they? A watered-down home user version. And we had BBC Micros at school, actually. And I had one recently, just for old memory's sake, and I've actually got rid of it now because it's an absolute pain. But these things are always it's rose-tinted glasses, isn't it? These retro things. They look nice, but when you go to use them, they're a complete nightmare, Brian, over.
Yeah, I mean, obviously in the day, I think they were about 400 quid, which was a lot of money in the day for a BBC computer. But I think I started on a Sinclair ZX81 and tried to move my way up into the PC world eventually.
Well, the first coding I ever did was on a Spectrum Plus 2, which was the one with the tape deck, and I was 5 years old, I seem to remember, and typing in programs from the book at the back, and trying to save them on tape. So that was my first experience of ever doing any programming, and I've been doing it ever since, Brian. It's great fun. I wouldn't want to be somebody coming into it now because it's got so complicated. There's just layers and layers and layers of things and technologies you have to learn these days. I'm glad I kind of grew up with it, and learned along the way, Brian. But I think the guys doing it these days, coming into it, you just have to focus on one small aspect of development and just focus on that and become an expert, because you're never going to master it all. Brian, over.
No, that's true. But I mean, it is a massive thing now, isn't it? You say to somebody, I'm a computer programmer, and you'd be talking totally different languages from one guy to the other. I'm interested in Station Master, though. Is that free to download, Stu?
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, there is a sort of a premium thing to it, but that's more just if you want to donate and support me and keep me interested in keeping it up to date and paying the bills, because it's an online thing as well, so there's hosting charges and stuff involved. It's not just a case of write the code and put it out there and forget it. It does cost me money to maintain it, but you can download it. You can register for free. You can download and use the desktop version for free and the mobile app as well. There are a few features that you don't get for free, but the majority of it that you're probably going to use is free, and it's only a couple of £1 a month if you did want to go for the pro version anyway, Brian, over.
Okay, and I presume that's for a Windows-based machine, is it? You've not got a Mac version, have you?
Well, interesting. You've asked the right question there, Brian, because the current version 1, which you can download, is C# and it's Windows only. The version I'm using here on my live stream is Station Master version 2. This is cross-platform. It will run on Windows, Mac, and Linux. It's just not finished yet, Brian, so it's not available to download, but it should be within weeks. Over.
Okay, I'll keep a watch out for that. So anyway, I'm going to leave you now, Stu, because you've been quite busy and I'm sure there's other people waiting to talk to you. So I will say Happy Easter and 73s and G5STU from Mike 0JQE.
Yeah, lovely. M0JQE, G5STU. Thanks for coming in, Brian, and enjoy the rest of the Easter weekend. Okay, let's go to Scotland if you're still there, waiting patiently. Mike 0, Golf, X-Ray, let's start again. Mike 0, Golf, X-Ray, Golf, Roger.
Mike 0, Golf, X-Ray, Quebec, Stu. It's Quebec there at the end there. Just been listening by there. I'm a bit of a dinosaur when it comes to laptops and computers nowadays. Aye. Lost interest about 10, 15 years ago there, over. And you're 10 over 9.
Thank you for 10 over 9, MM0 Golf X-Ray Quebec. I did type you in right. I was just being dyslexic when I read it back. You're about 5 and 7 on the peaks, Gary. Not super loud, but there's no QRM at the moment, so hearing you for the moment there. Sorry, what was it? You just give me that last over again, because I didn't quite get what you said. Over.
I'm a bit of a dinosaur when it comes to laptops nowadays. I've not really been into it for the last 10, 15 years. That's how I was it's interesting it when they go too complicated. To the amateur radio side of it and the work side of it. How's this radio sounding anyway? I'm on a UTC 710 there, just left it last week there.
Yeah, Roger. We'll have to cut it short, Gary. Somebody's parked about a click down from us and they're splattering all over you and I'm not hearing you anymore. But okay, I'll say 7-3, Gary. I think you said you're on a 710 there, but I'm really struggling with this other station parked on top of us. So I think I'm going to pull the plug here, Gary. But thanks for waiting to come in. And sorry I wasn't able to make it a longer QSO. 57 was your original report. MM0 Golf X-Ray Quebec G5STU. Thank you.
Golf 8 Bravo Charlie. Sorry about that. Cheers for now. Bye.
Okay, all the best. Who was the other station?
This is Golf 8 Bravo Charlie.
Okay, Golf 8 BBC. How you doing?
Good, thank you. Just opened the station now. This is, as you said, G8 BBC, transmitting from the top of Broadcasting House here in London. Over.
Oh, well, fantastic. Thank you for dropping by. Pleasure to work you. We were talking about BBC Micro computers not so long ago. I wonder if you were listening. Over.
I was at that point. I've literally just turned the radio on, got into the 40-meter band, and you were the first station that appeared. But what a machine, the BBC Micro. I mean, I'm quite young, so I've never been able to actually see one, but I've read a lot about it, and it's an incredible machine.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, that's what I grew up on, and learned a lot programming at school with the BBC Micros and the Acorn Archimedes 3000s as well. We had loads of them at school, all networked together on an Ethernet network, which was very fancy at the time. So you're at Broadcasting House, are you? I wonder. So what's your role at the BBC other than being in the radio club, ever?
So my main role is in research and development, mainly in distribution, and so I've started fairly recently, and so that is mainly what I do here. I also relatively recently joined the club. Once I discovered they had a radio club, I was so happy because I used to have a station home here in London. This was when I was a student a couple of years ago, and when you move out of student place, it's very hard to find the space to put an antenna up. I've been off the air, I'd say, for about a year and a half. Now I'm operating G8 BBC, but my normal call sign is Golf 3 India Charlie November. And yeah, just being able to operate the station over here is quite exciting because the equipment they have here is better than anything I've ever used. I mean, my main radio back home used to be a Nikon 735, so that's where the latest radio I've used was a Nikon. Was it a wood? That was also got that expensive one of the structures that I went to do. But yeah, how about yourself?
Okay, G8 BBC, G5 SU. You're 5 and 5, by the way. There's a bit of a noisy frequency, so I think I'll make this the final. I didn't catch the name actually. Just give me the name before you go, and I'll put that in the logbook. But yeah, well, great to hear the BBC on the airwaves today. It gives BBC quality audio a whole different meaning, doesn't it? So fantastic. Thank you for coming in to say hello. I've got about 600-700 watts here on a Whiskey 5 Golf India antenna. The QTH is near Dorchester or Weymouth, and yeah, we're right out in the sticks. So I'm going to make this my final. I'm also going to be pulling the plug here as well. I think the band's about to get swamped by the contesters, so we'll make way for those guys, I think. So back round for you. Just give me the name before you go. My name was Stu, by the way. Sierra Tango United. It's Golf 8 BBC G5 STU.
Hi, Stu. My name is Diego. That is Delta India Echo Golf Oscar. Diego. I'm originally from Spain. Yes, that's fantastic. 6 watts. You're coming in 5.9 here. I'm really picking you up very, very well. Fantastic signal. I cannot believe it's 5-6 watts. But yeah, just to make sure I got your call sign right, is it Golf 5 Sierra Tango Uniform? Is that correct? Over?
Yeah, QSL on the call sign. That's correct. And yeah, thank you, Diego. You're actually 5859 on the peaks, but there is QR Mexico on the frequency from other stations, which makes it making a little bit of a challenge. But absolute pleasure to work you there from Broadcasting House. I know Steve G3HPE. I think he used to be involved in the BBC on the Radio 1 road shows, and I've often heard him running the Golf, the BBC 100 call sign on the anniversary year there. So, but great to work the Golf 8 BBC station, and all the better for you calling me instead of the other way around. That makes it even better, Diego. So fantastic. Thank you for putting the station on the air, and thank you for giving me a call. I'll put it round for you for the final. Golf 8 BBC G5 STU. Thank you.
G5STU, thank you very much for such a lovely contact, and wish all the best. Hope you enjoy the rest of the Easter weekend. Thank you very much. 7-3.
All the best. Thank you very much. And okay, I'm going to pull the plug now, and there's a few people watching the live stream here, so I'm just going to demo some of the software features I've added this morning on the live stream. If anybody's interested, just search my call sign on YouTube. Okay, this is Golf 5 Sierra Tango Uniform, now QRT on 40 meters. 7-3, thank you.
Okay. Well, that was a nice little treat. BBC giving me a call from Broadcasting House. So I just want to demo a couple of things very quickly here that I've added this morning on Station Master. It's only a couple of things. They're small but quite significant. And let me just show you the first one. So for example, let's say you're doing an activation, or you're going to be doing some activations of parks for the day or the weekend. Well, what you can do before you leave the house, or indeed when you get to the location, is go into here. You've got a kind of a new activations button. You go into here, you can give it a name if you want. You don't have to, it will populate it for you. And then let's say you're a park and you're activating a couple of parks. So I don't know, let's type in CA-123, whatever it is. We've got instant search there from the POTA website to confirm the park reference and select the one that you want. If you're doing a 2-fur, 3-fur or 4-fur, if that's even a thing, I have no idea, you can type in another one, and so on and so forth. The plan long term is that these will all be mapped out on a map as well, to make it even easier for you. So for the moment, that's how that will work. You've also got the SOTA refs and all these other various different references. The idea will be that it will also have instant search for those as well. So just say you're at a park and you're doing worldwide flora, fauna and POTA all at the same time, but bunkers on the air. You can do all of that and set it up and start your activation, or save the activation, and then what you can do is store them up later, so you can pre-program them all in, and when you get to your first activation of the day, you'll just go into a list, start activation, it'll bring all those settings in, and then at the end of it you'll be able to go in and export the logs all in the correct format for the POTA website, and it'll have all of the correct IDs in there. Rowley I've forgotten his call, what is it? ZS6BQD, I think it is. ZL6BQD, Rowley. He's the POTA coordinator in ZL Land. He's been giving me example files and all the formats and stuff that we need to use to export to the POTA system. So he's helping me on that. So that will make sure all of that works. ZL1BQD, thank you, Ethan, for correcting me. And so that's the first thing I wanted to show. So that's happening in version 2. Another thing I've also got working, which I can actually demonstrate now, is exporting to log of the world. So if we go here, export to log of the world, just click yes, and what that will do, it will spit out a file that's compatible with the TQSL log of the world system. Click ignore any dupes. It will scan through all of the files. It will dedupe it all. Once I've got this finished, it will know which ones to send, so it won't send, you know, it won't need to dedupe because it will already know. But at the moment, this is just proof of concept, and it's just going through, picking out all the new contacts that we've made today, and then it will say, do you want to upload these to log of the world? So within a couple of seconds, we should be there. I think we're about 7,000 QSOs in this logbook. So here we go. It should be there. Right, so what you do is say new QSOs only. And there we go, done. Sent to log of the world. That's as easy as that. I think that works in a similar way to Log4OM and other systems as well. So that's the log of the world integration. You do need to have the TQSL program running. You do need to have your locations set up. I've forgotten how you do that, but here we go. Locations. So QTH home, I've got there, is the name. And all I've done is in my settings in here under log of the world integration, wherever that's gone, I've just got QTH home there as well, just to match up. So that's how that works. And if we go back over here, that was basically it. So when you first set up Station Master 2, you connect to the cloud or Station Master Cloud. You can either import your logs from your desktop, an ADIF file, or you can pull all from cloud. So if you pull all from cloud, it will download everything from the cloud, and then it will import it into your current logbook and dedupe. It will dedupe everything, and there we go, it's finished. So obviously it didn't pull in anything because it's already synced up anyway. But if you've just set up Station Master 2, that's how you pull in all your data. And then you go into your logbook, click refresh, it'll all be there, all synchronized up. You've got your DXCCs list there as well. It tells you how many DXCCs you've worked and so on and so forth, and that will tally up with QRZ. There will be the ability to go into here. So let's say, I don't know, Australia, you'll be able to click on stats, and it will bring up a whole new screen with graphs and all this sort of stuff, a breakdown by band, mode, all this sort of stuff, and it will all look very pretty. And ultimately, when you work a new station and you search them, when it brings them up on the map, so if we say VK2EX, VK2EX, it's not letting me type because it's stuck in the background. Okay, it's crashed in the background. Well, forget that. But what will happen is, as soon as you type a call sign in, it will tell you whether it's a new DXCC, whether it's you've worked them before on this band, all the stuff that you'd expect to happen. It will tell you all of that instantly as you're working people on the map. So there we go. That's a few things I just wanted to demonstrate. And these are all things I've added literally in the last 2 days. So yeah, we're getting there. And I'm just going to answer a couple of questions from the chat. So Sean's asking, is it an update with Station Master? It's not. You won't be able to update the current version to this version. This is a separate installation. So once I've published it, you'll be able to go to a separate download page, download it, and it will be Station Master 2, and this will have its own updates. You know, it's a separate program. Station Master 1 will still be there. People can still carry on using that, and there will be sort of critical updates and stuff for that as well. So they're two separate programs. I wouldn't have them both running at the same time. Pick which one you're going to use and stick with it. But ultimately, Station Master 1 will be retired probably after a year or two. I won't be adding to it anymore. All of the new stuff will go into this version, which runs on Mac, Linux and Windows. The Linux people, it's a .appimage file. I know there's a few different formats you can use. The format I'm going for is .appimage, which should run on any version of Linux pretty much. So there we go. Hello everybody watching, thank you for stopping by, and if you just stopped by at the end there just to catch some of the Station Master stuff, you can download this from Station-Master online. There's a link on my QRZ page, so you can go there, get to the Station Master page here, and then you just go to download app, and you get to here, click on download. This will download Station Master version 1, runs on Windows only. That won't look like the program I've got running now, but it will look very familiar. So there we go, you can download that now. All the best, have a great weekend, and good luck to anybody that's contesting this weekend. And where are we? I think we're on Saturday, aren't we? So we've got Easter Sunday and Monday off as well. So yeah, still plenty of weekend to go. Will we be integrating with HRD? It does already sort of integrate with HRD in terms of the logs, but I will be redoing that stuff. I'm going to be retesting all of that integration, Gary, with HRD, because obviously this is just a logbook. HRD does loads of other stuff and it has a logbook. So this is just the logbook part of HRD, if you like. Quick final question from Ethan and then I'm going. So fire away. You'll have to be quick. Quick final question. Okay, maybe that wasn't a final question. Right, I'm going to hit the end button. Thanks for tuning in, and enjoy the rest of the weekend. I'm going to go out and do a bit of, spend a bit of family time now, and go for some dinner. 73, and bye bye.
Lighthouse calling at the Max for the QSO. It was very nice to hear you. That's 73 and stay healthy. Take care, Max. Bye bye.
It's just having fun, getting people on the band chatting. My world of amateur radio. Just sitting there listening on a frequency, listening to people calling in from all over the place. And amateur radio really is a fantastic hobby.
Okay, Stuart. Well, I've just took a little bit of video.
This is Germany 5, Sierra Tango United in company calling DX, over. G5SU with 2E1 Hotel Juliet Whiskey. Thanks for coming back to the call, Victor. Germany 5, Sugar Tango Uniform, Stuart 59.
Thank you very much, DX. Great that you called in, considering the last time I think you worked mobile. So always great to have you in the logs queue.